to spend time with you tonight and to get to be together in this moment, celebrating everything you've accomplished so far, and then really thinking about what's next. We've got Kim, we've got Nicole, Tracy. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, we've got Gunnar. How are you? I love this. So for those of you who have been joining all along, so welcome again if this is your first time, or if you, I'm just trying to get my camera adjusted. There we go. Okay, no more Blair Witch. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you've been joining from the beginning as well, welcome. I'm curious for anyone who has been joining from the beginning of this series. And again, this is night 16 of our April series on how to release resistance to what you want. What has been your biggest aha? Like, what has been your biggest takeaway? I don't know if you guys were there last night. I think some of you who I can see on Instagram were, but hearing about the manifestations and the things that have happened for some of our viewers and participants since starting this series was remarkable to me. Money coming in, opportunities coming in, clients coming in, even shifts in relationship with themselves, with money, with emotions, with all of it. It was so good. So pop a comment. Let me know if you've been joining this series for any amount of time, like what your biggest takeaway or aha has been so far. I'm super curious to hear. And if you are joining for the first time tonight, welcome. This is the last night of a series that I've been doing all April based on this book, Ask and It's Given by Abraham Hicks. Highly, highly, highly encourage you to check out this book, because what I've learned after spending many years in the struggle type of energy around creating what I wanted, which was, I would go for a goal and it felt like I would accomplish it, but it would feel really hard. It would feel like a push. It would feel like a shove. I would be in constant anxiety about it. And then learning a different way to create, and learning that the thing that was actually blocking me from what I wanted was limiting beliefs around not being able to accomplish it. And that shows up as what's called resistance, which is what this whole series has been about. Bambi, good evening. I see you're here. Welcome. And hey, I know you've been here since night one, so I would love to hear from you. What's your biggest aha been in this entire series? So we've been doing this all month now. We're on 16 nights, which is so cool. What's the number one thing that has either happened for you, so something that happened in the physical world, or a shift, an inner shift that's happened? So I'm super curious to hear. And then if you're joining live on LinkedIn or YouTube, pop a comment. Let me know you're here. That's the only way I can see you. And let me know what your biggest takeaway has been too. If you've been joining for a while, or maybe you're hopping on for the first time tonight, and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And if that's the case for you, then come in and share it, please. Like, share, what are you looking to learn? What is the thing that you're looking to drop resistance to? And we're going to talk about it tonight. So tonight, the process that we're going to use, this is one that kind of daunted me for a while. It's one of the more heavy duty Abraham Hicks processes, but it's also one of the most well known. Like, one of the ones that's kind of the go-to that a lot of hardcore Abraham Hicks followers, you'll hear they talk about a lot, and it's this focus wheel process. So I'm excited to share this with you, because this is another really good one. If you have been, like, if you're in more of a negative vibration or emotion, this is a great one that you can use. Just checking on Instagram. James, hey, welcome, my friend. So glad you're here. Hey, let us know, James, in the comments, like, what's the number one takeaway? I'm just celebrating everyone who's been here kind of from the beginning. What's the number one takeaway that you've had over the course of this series? The number one aha takeaway that you're using to shift your life? Bambi's saying a shift, not shooting for 20,000, but $100,000 months. Yes, sister. I mean, this is what everyone says. This is what Bob Proctor says. This is my own experience too, is you go for the thing that you're like, oh, it's the reasonable thing. And then you accomplish it. And then you realize you could have shot way higher, right? So Bambi, you absolutely have $100,000 energy, $100,000 a month energy. So you can totally do that. Feeling, along with the speaking of desires and affirmations. Yes, the feeling, that's it. The feeling is the most important part. The delegation to the universal manager, mostly. Yep, but so many really. Yeah. And I know Nicole is on tonight, or she was on at the beginning, and she she and I did a live last night and we talked about like feeling is the secret, feeling good is the work. And gosh, this stuff is not taught in like, the corporate goal setting classes I had, but it's so important. It is that feeling place. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight too. How do you find the feeling place that's in alignment with what you want? David on YouTube, welcome, my friend. So your biggest takeaway so far, understanding that wanting something but focusing on not having it, yes, offers resistance to what I actually want. Yes. So shifting focus to already having it and how it makes me feel has been transformational. I love that. That makes my heart so happy. Also, how thinking small attracts small results. There are no limits because we're in a universe of abundance. Amen, amen, amen. Yes, so good. And I'm excited to hear about, I think today was the day you were going to get your money for your niece, right? Which happened as a manifestation that some of the work you've been doing in this month. So curious how that went and just celebrating that with you. Hi, Juan on LinkedIn. How are you? Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We've got, Nicole, feeling good is the work. Yes. Hey there, today is all there is. Welcome, Makia. Welcome, guys. I love you so much. I'm so grateful to get to spend this time with you tonight. So let's talk about the process for tonight. And if you are joining for the first time, there's a free companion guide that goes with this series at elisearcher.com/resistance, because the whole way you know how much resistance you have is how you feel. So the worse you feel, the more out of alignment you are with the thing you want and the more resistance you have to it. So this guide is something that you can print out and use again and again and again to identify what feeling am I having right now? And that actually tells you what you're a vibrational match to receive more of in your life. So that's why we want to continuously work to get higher on that emotional scale, because your emotions are your body's way of telling you what vibration you're in. And this process tonight's really good if you find yourself like at a lower part of the vibrational scale. So let's talk about it, guys. Let's get into it. All right. So this is process number 17, and it's the focus wheel. So I know I've got some like diehard Abraham Hicks people here. Have any of you done the focus wheel before? I'm just curious if it's something you've done, because I know a lot of Abraham Hicks followers are like, they're so hardcore about this and they swear it works. And I've used it before and had really good results. So I'm excited to share it with you. So when do you use this process? 4 different times. One, when you realize that your current vibrational point of attraction is not where you want it to be. And this is really good, right? And you guys who have been joining this month, like you're getting this, you're noticing now when you don't feel good, when you're in that lower level emotion, you're just aware, like, and it's not with judgment or shame, but it's your vibration. You now know that vibrational point of attraction isn't where you want it to be able to easily and quickly bring in what you want. The second time is when you're aware that you're feeling negative emotion about something that's important and you want to find a way of feeling positive emotion instead. So we talked about this one too, right? Like with money or with health, where these are things that are important in life. And so if you notice that you're feeling negatively about them, it's not like we can just not think about them ever again because they are important parts of life. So this is a good one to use then when it is something that you have to focus on, but you want to elevate the way you're feeling about it so that you don't have so much resistance to it. The third way, or the third time, is when something has just happened that is not to your liking, and you want to think about it while it's on your mind and change your point of attraction so it does not happen again. So this is good too. This can be like an in the moment, like, ooh, something just happened that didn't feel great. Let me use this right away to shift it and also make sure that I don't go back there and repeat this process again. And then the final time is just when you're reaching for a feeling of relief. So you're not feeling great. And that's actually where you would use this. So your emotional set point range, this is where you want to grab your companion emotional scale download. This is for somewhere between an 8, which is boredom, and a 17, which is anger. So all the way, it's like you've started to enter into those lower vibrational suffering states, and then you're getting all the way down to anger. This is when you would use this one. Okay. So we're going to talk about what it is and how. I just want to check comments before we do. Hey, Elizabeth. Oh my gosh. I love that you're here. You get to be here a little earlier tonight. That's awesome. It's great to see you. James, you're saying your biggest takeaways so far have been surrendering to ease. Yes. Trusting the universe. Yes. Take action with excitement that it's coming. Absolutely. And number 4, ask why I feel negative emotions and then ask myself how I can think about it that feels better. Gosh, that's good. I mean, if we could write like a synopsis of this whole thing, that's it. That's it. That's so good. And then I've seen a few comments coming in. So David, you shared with us last night about your very cool manifestation of this $10,000 for your niece. You say, I've been talking with my family all day, celebrating it and my niece's accomplishment, shifting the focus for how this is helping her and making it about her achievement. Just grateful to be a part of it. I love that. And that's really, anytime we find ourselves, and David, this is kind of like semi-related to what you said, semi not, but another just tip for you guys is anytime you find yourself in those lower level vibrations or emotions, it's always because we're making it about us, and that's like one of the easiest and fastest ways to shift it is to think about who you help, like think about who you're helping and think about how you want to show up and serve them. And that's it. Like that will instantly shift your vibration. That will instantly help you feel better. And so David, kind of coming full circle with what you shared there, it's like, it gets to be both, right? It's like, holy crap, I manifested this. That's pretty awesome. And really celebrating your niece. And I was actually thinking this morning about her and like, how cool that just these downloads and these ideas we get, like the download for this, we had the download for this series, and then you guys all had like the emotional pull to come and join and be here. And then as part of being here and you showing up and doing the work and taking part, like now your niece is going to get to go to this school that she wants to, like, isn't it just amazing how interconnected we all are, and that ripple effect where I think part of it too, guys, is like, you don't know and you won't see the ripple effect of everything in your life. You won't, but that's part of what I've really learned to embrace and what has made, for me, showing up and doing my work every day very fulfilling, is knowing that we are all one and we are all connected. And so you show up, you do this work, you focus on feeling good, you focus on giving your best, and you never know the full ripple effect. Maybe we know once we make it to the other side, right? But I think here on this earth, like you never see the full ripple effect of you showing up and being willing to challenge your past limiting beliefs and being willing to take action on these ideas and instincts that show up. And like, even just David, thinking about your niece here, like think about the life she's going to impact with what she does now that she's going to school. And I just think it's so cool. Like for all of you who are part of this, like we all get to like be in that energy of supporting her as she now goes and takes this next step of her journey. And I feel like we've all collectively like been part of, lifting her into this next space. And it's just so delicious. It's wonderful. I love it. Lorenzo, welcome on LinkedIn. I'm so glad you're here, my friend. Letitia, Coach, is it Schultze? Am I saying that right? Coach Schultz? I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Makia is saying, I enjoy using which thought feels better and wouldn't it be nice? They have helped me take better action. That's beautiful. Yeah, it's like when we can just drop some of the resistance to, when we can feel better, we take better action. Like that's it. The type of action you take will be determined by how you feel. So how you feel matters. And so learning how to use these tools to drop the resistance and then to allow you to take better action, the results always follow. So I love that that's been something that's been powerful for you too. So let's talk about this process. So again, this is the focus wheel. So this is the 17th process in the book. It's the last one in this series, but it's so good. So here's the why behind it. And then we'll talk about how. So, and we've talked about this before, through different life experiences, you will often find yourself in a vibrational pattern that blocks what you want from coming in. And now you're aware of it, right? If you've been joining this for any amount of time, now you're aware of it. So that will happen for you less and less. But if you look back on your life and you look back on things that you wanted to create that either didn't happen or that felt really hard or they didn't happen the way you hoped, if you were able to look back and remember some of how you were thinking and feeling during those things, you would notice that you were in a pattern of resistance because you were in fear or worry or anxiety about it coming in, right? Can you guys like give me some hearts or give me a yes if this is making sense? And if you're like, yep, I totally get that that's what was happening before. And so what happens is we're in this vibrational pattern. You can be in this vibrational pattern that blocks what you want from coming in. So what you want is $100,000 a month, and you're focusing on, I want it, but I don't have it. I want it, but I don't have it. I want it, but I don't have it. So your emotion is, I don't have it. And so you're in that vibrational, like your vibration is of not having it. And again, you don't get what you're thinking about. It's not just about what you're thinking about, it's how you're feeling. The universe responds to your feelings. So that's why we have to have, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, that clear intention plus that elevated emotion of how it's going to feel when your abundance finds you, how it's going to feel when that event happens for you. That's what draws it in. And so what happens is, and this you guys won't do this now because you've been part of this, but you'll hear other people say this, is they look at their beliefs about there not being enough, or they look at their current reality of lack. They look at the current bank account, which doesn't match what they say they want. And they say, well, it's true. It's true. Like this is real. It's true. Right. And here's the thing is, we have to remember anything that has been manifested or created in your physical reality is simply a result of you giving it enough attention for it to come to be true. Okay. So it is all a result of you having given it enough attention to make it so. Or let's say that you're looking at suffering and poverty, even outside of you, like in the world, and you're watching the news with them talking about it. And you say, well, it's true. And yes, is it true? Yes. However, the only reason it's true is that enough people have given enough attention and focus on that thing to allow it to remain true. Okay. And this is where it gets to be somewhat controversial topics, but Science of Getting Rich talks about to look upon the appearance of poverty creates poverty. And that's why I love, I'm big on like focus on the solution, like rather than continuing to focus on what's wrong. I was going to go into journalism. For a number of reasons I didn't. One was I learned how much money you would make as a reporter. And I was like, oh, not for me. But two, part of why I'm actually glad I didn't is that the news is designed to focus on what's not good, right? Because that's what sells. That puts people into fight or flight. That triggers the amygdala in your brain, which is that part that it's the fight or flight, the animal part of your brain. And when we all focus collectively on what's not working, we create more of that. It's like Mother Teresa said, if I'm invited to march in a rally against war, I will not be there. You can't count on me to be there. But if you ever have a march for peace, I will be the first person there. I wholeheartedly agree with that. So this is about knowing that whatever you put enough attention on will manifest, it must, into physical form. And so what that also means is that if you don't like what's manifested into physical form for you, you can now start shifting your attention onto what you do want to manifest, knowing again that we live in time lag. And so one of the universal laws, I'm talking about these tomorrow on my She Sells All Access training, but it's the law of gender, which states that every seed has a gestation period. And so when we look at the physical world, we know the gestation period of things in the physical world. We know how long it takes for a baby to be in the womb and then be born, which is approximately 280 days. We know how long it takes to plant a carrot and get a carrot. And I don't know how long that is off the top of my head, but someone knows it, okay? For an idea, it's a spiritual seed. So we don't know exactly how long it's going to take to manifest. However, what will make it take a lot longer is you having resistance to it, because it's just like you planted a seed for a plant and it didn't spring up first thing the next morning. And then you went and you started digging and saying, oh my gosh, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? I don't think it's going to come. I don't trust it's going to come. Like, I'm just going to throw this out because this seed is never going to happen. And yeah, I'm just never going to plant anything again. Right. That's exactly how we treat stuff when we have resistance to it. And instead, the energy of powerful creation and the energy of really being in alignment with what you want is thinking about planting seeds of what you want with the exact same laid back, casual, but expectant and grateful energy that you would have if you planted a seed for like a new garden, something new in your garden that you were looking forward to. And then how would you water it and how would you tend to it? It's exactly the same. That's how you create powerfully. That's how you release resistance. So this is all a bit of a tangent to what we're talking about here tonight, which is the focus wheel. But I really just want to like drive this home tonight, since this is the last one on our series, that hopefully this is really like making sense for you? Is this making sense, guys? Let me know if this is sinking in and you're like, yes, I understand it now. I get it. And I understand that feeling and how important that feeling place is. So let me know. I think, is it Tyler, you on Instagram that you're here? Welcome, Tyler. I'm so glad you're here. So how do we, okay, yeah. So getting back to why this is important. So the focus wheel process is going to allow you to focus your thoughts onto what you want. So you can pay attention to that rather than what you don't want. So it's like we're getting the thoughts focused back on what you want instead of focusing on what you don't want. Letitia's saying this is making sense. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. So how are you going to do this? What they recommend is that you're going to spend 15 to 20 minutes anytime on this, anytime you have a negative emotion and that you want to use this process to help shift. So, or if you want to gain more clarity around what you want to kind of like speed up the vibration of it coming in. And another great way to think about this is anytime you're really aware of something you don't want, that's a great time to use this. And we talked about last night the process of pivoting. And so we use pivoting, and because we are now aware that when you're not feeling good, it's because you've just been thinking a thought that's not in alignment with the truth of your inner being. And it's not in alignment with the truth of who you are and what you're calling in. And so that is of value, though. It wouldn't happen. We wouldn't have those contrasting experiences if they didn't serve us. And the way it's meant to serve you is to help you get more clarity on what you want. So remember, anytime you're super aware of what you don't want because you're feeling bad, right? We talked about last night. When do you want to feel good? Anytime more than when you feel sick, right? Or when do you want money? Anytime more than when you feel like you don't have money. Those things are all tools to help you sharpen your desire for what you do want. So you can use this process when you're feeling that. So this one is another process. You can use pivoting like we talked about yesterday. You can use the focus wheel. So they're really, really good. Anna, welcome. Lisa Queen, welcome. I love having you on here tonight. This is wonderful. I love seeing clients and friends and everyone pop on. This is great. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to make a general statement that matches your desire. Okay. So you're going to think of like, what is it that I want? What is the thing I want? You're going to make a general statement about what it is that you want. And then I want to show this to you yet? Yeah, I think I'm going to show it. Can you guys? Okay. I'm going to take a moment on Instagram. I'm going to take a moment on LinkedIn. So you're going to actually, no, let me share this in a moment. All right, guys, thank you for bearing with me. I'm thinking out like the easiest way to talk about this. So you're going to figure out what you want, right? Which is the opposite of what you don't want. You're going to get a large sheet of paper. Or a sheet of paper, you're going to draw a large circle on that sheet of paper, like around the outside. Then you're going to draw a small circle about 2 inches in diameter in the center of the large circle. So you kind of got like an egg situation going on, right? Like a sunny side up egg. So you got the large circle, then you got the smaller circle in the middle. Now what you're going to do is you're going to sit back and you're just going to focus on that smaller circle. And you're going to think about what you want. And a lot of times, again, the way we figure out what we want is by identifying what we don't want. So you can think to, okay, I've got this negative emotion now. What's the thought that triggered it, or what happened that triggered this negative emotion? Get clear on that. And then you're going to think about, you're just going to ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want? And you're going to write that thing that you want in the center of the smaller circle. So for example, let's say that it's health related and you're like, I feel fat and I want to feel slender, right? Or I feel unhealthy and I want to feel well. Or related to money, I feel poor and I want to feel prosperous. So you're going to get that thing that you want written in the center of the circle. And now what you're going to do, this is where you get to like have some fun with this, is you're going to write statements outside the edge of the large circle that match what you want. Now stay with me here, guys. This one takes a little more explaining. Stay with me because it's important and it's good. So you're going to write these statements outside the edge that match what you want. But before you write it down, you're going to check to see if you feel in alignment with that statement or not. So we're going to do some examples, okay? And then we're going to talk about why and how to do this. So let's say that your intention eventually is to write in the center of that smaller circle, I feel good about my body. So you want to feel good about your body, but you can tell right now that from where you are, when you say, I feel good about my body, that it's actually triggering an emotion in you that doesn't align with that. So you actually feel like aggravated, or you feel out of sync with it. Like you can tell that that's not actually true for you right now. And so that tells you that that was too specific of a statement. So we've talked about this before, but this is such a good rule of thumb that Abraham Hicks teaches, which is when you start to feel good, that's when you want to get more specific about what you want. Because again, you've got your emotion is always creating momentum about the thing you talk about. So when you feel good, when you feel positive emotion, that means you're going to be able to create positive momentum by getting more specific about your desire. When you feel bad, though, when you don't feel so good, you actually want to get more general. You want to back away from it. So this is why if you find yourself in like a negative vibrational place, a negative emotion, that's not really a great time to go sit and think about what you want a lot. Like it's a time where there's contrast, right? So you can think, okay, I'm feeling bad. What's the opposite? That is what I want. But that's not the time I would try to get really specific around the thing you want. So you might say, I want more money, and that feels true and in alignment, but you might not say, I want $100,000, because when you say that, it feels so far off for you and so out of alignment with where you're at that it like throws you off in the bushes. Does that make sense? So when we feel good, we want to get more specific. When we don't feel so good, we want to get more general. So as you're searching for these statements that you're going to put around your focus wheel, what you want to do is search for ones that when you say it, they're general enough that they actually feel true to you. So you kind of want to think about it like you're trying to hop on a train or like a merry-go-round that's going fast. And let's just say it was a merry-go-round, for example, because this is a wheel, right? So it looks like a merry-go-round. So if it was going really fast and you tried to like run and jump on, you'd knock right off, right? You wouldn't be able to hold on. It would be going too fast and you'd be off in the bushes. But if you could get it to slow down enough that you could then hop on, then you could start speeding it up again. And then you could start getting that increase in momentum once you're already on it. So that's kind of what we're doing here when we're searching for beliefs and statements that actually feel in alignment. You're trying to kind of bridge that gap between your desire, the thing you want, which is what's in the center of that circle, and your current feeling place. I'm going to give you guys some more examples, but is this making sense? Give me like a yes in the comments, give me some hearts, or let me know, like, at least we're off in the bushes. This is like, I don't know where what you're talking about here, because this one it's a more like involved process. But again, it's such a good one. It's such a good one. So let's say that again, going back to that example of health, and you want to be able to say that you feel good about your body, but right now you don't. So you would start to make it more general and test out different types of statements. So you might test and say, well, what's something else I could say about that? Like, for example, I know that my physical body responds to my thoughts. So let's say you tried that one and then you said, that actually doesn't make me feel that much better either, because now I'm starting to like beat up on myself. Now I'm feeling mad at myself because I know it and I like can't get it together to make this work. So that's not one to write down. Then you could say, like, let's say you think of one that's even more general. For the most part, my body's doing all right. And let's say that when you said that, all of a sudden it was like, yeah, that clicks. Like, I actually believe that. And because you don't feel resistance in your body when you say it, that's how you know that your body has accepted a belief to be true, is you say it. And it's like, yes, of course, you don't feel that. For me, it feels like constriction in my chest usually is when I have resistance to something. And so you don't feel that. And so then you write that down. It's like, that's your entryway to get on the merry-go-round of what you want. And then what you're going to do is that you're going to keep writing statements. You're going to look for 12 total. So almost like you're, a clock, right? Like the hours on the clock. You're going to keep writing statements around the outside of that larger circle that match, that feel like a belief to you. So maybe the next one is like, I believe that the universe matches our vibration. And you're like, yeah, I totally believe that. So that sticks and you write it down. Another one, now it's like, kind of like you're picking up speed and momentum. You might say, this physical body has been very good to me. And so you believe that. And so it stays and you write it down. And then as you find, again, you're finding more thoughts that feel good. And we talked about this, I think last night, but also other nights when we've met, is that the law of attraction applies to your thoughts. So the way you want to do this is when you find a thought that feels good, if you can hold that thought for as little as 17 seconds, another one will show up that's a match for it, and another, and another, and another. So it's like you're building this train of positive thoughts and positive momentum that's all stacking and tying together. Is this making sense, guys? Give me a heart, give me a yes. Let me know in the comments. But so here's what this actually looks like. So I'm going to show Instagram first, and then I'm going to show YouTube and LinkedIn. So you've got your desire here in the center. You guys can see my art. It's really amazing. You got your desire in the center, and then you've got your statements. Okay, you've got your statements going around on the outside. So over here, again, on my other side, so you've got your desire in the center. There we go. And then you've got your statements going around the outside of that larger circle. So it's like you're hopping on this merry-go-round, right? Yes. Oh, James is adding in another big takeaway that you've gotten, which is amazing. And you guys could put this on your focus wheel too. Believe the universe is helpful and supportive versus hostile. Yes, that is, I forget who said it, but someone, I don't think it was Einstein. Maybe it was. The most important decision you'll ever make in your life is whether you live in a supportive or a hostile universe. The most important decision you'll ever make. And I remember when I decided that I lived in a supportive and loving universe, everything started to shift. Because again, that you will always get what you believe to be true. So that's critical. And I'm so glad you brought that one up. Yeah, that one is critical. So what you're going to notice as you get these 12 statements down, and now you're starting to feel good. It's like, oh, I don't feel the resistance around that thing anymore. You're feeling good around it. Just go in and circle whatever you wrote in the center of your focus wheel and notice that you feel in closer vibrational alignment with it. It's so cool. It's like a very tactical process. Again, you're taking 15 to 20 minutes to do it, but you're zeroing in and you're releasing your resistance. And by the time you make it to that 12th statement, you're like, yeah, I actually believe that this thing is true for me. And then it can come in. When you believe it to be true for you, then it can happen. Then you've gotten rid of the resistance that was blocking it. So it's so good. Okay, David's giving me a thumbs up of yes, this makes sense. Good. All right. This one is like funky. I feel like I need a PowerPoint or something. Well, I'm not a big PowerPoint person, but I feel like I need a lot more visuals for this. So I'm glad this one is making sense to you guys. So let's talk about why this is effective. And then please pop questions. We're starting to kind of round this one out. So if you have questions or takeaways, pop them in the comments so that I can come back to them after I talk through this next part with you. Why is this effective? Really 5 key things. The statements that you're writing are deliberately chosen. They are deliberately chosen. And this is where, again, we can be deliberate about our thinking and our thoughts. So you are not your thoughts. You could not have awareness of your thoughts if you were your thoughts. They sound like you because they come in your voice, but they're simply a mechanism of your brain. And so that's a really great, it's a meditation I've been practicing. I think it was Jay Shetty who I heard this from, that he would say often I am awareness, I am awareness, I am awareness. And learning that you're not your thoughts, you can take it, it's like you're a level up from them. So you know that because you're not your thoughts, you can deliberately shape and choose your thoughts to match the belief system that you want, that you know would create the reality that you desire. So that's part of why this is so powerful. And again, when you make a more general statement, so when you try to get too specific and you're not feeling good about the thing, it's going to throw you off in the bushes and it's going to add even more resistance to it. So we don't want to do that. So if you can get more general about it and take a little bit of distance back from it, then you're able to be more pure in your thought and you're able to be more of a vibrational match for the thing that you want. Part of what I love about this too is Abraham Hicks say this is the best tool they found to help you make a bridge between your desire and your beliefs. And so to me, it's like, all right, guys, if you say this is the best tool you found, I'm in, I'll use it. I trust that. So this is a great one I hope all of you will start practicing this and trying this. when you find yourself in more of that feeling place. Here's something else to notice and to know about this is that when you use this process, nothing has really changed yet in your physical reality. So whether it was about health or whether it was about money and prosperity or relationships, the likelihood is in 20 minutes of writing, you're not going to have suddenly gotten your best body ever, or the money, maybe you have very little resistance by the end of it and the money has come into your bank account, but more likely than not, it hasn't come yet. However, you feel better. And because you feel better, you offer less resistance. And because you offer less resistance, you're able to now have more memory, have more clarity, have more clearness of thought about what you want. And from a purely neurological standpoint, too, when you're in resistance, you are in more of that fight or flight mode. So that's where you're triggering more cortisol in your body. You've got resistance because you're in a lower vibration, which means you're in fear, you're in stress. And what happens is your brain actually shuts down those higher thinking, the higher levels of thinking, so that it can focus all of its energy on survival and on protecting you. So for those of you who are more into the science of this, don't you see how when you release that resistance and you can get out of that survival mode, out of that fight or flight, and into more of the creative expectation of the thing coming, then you're able to receive the downloads because now your brain it's turned back on. It's allowing the new ideas to flow through. And from a spiritual standpoint, to me, it feels like, like I can tell when I shift into a lower vibration, it literally feels like I've cut myself off from God. And it's not a good feeling. For those of you who like you've experienced this and you think about it that same way, it's not a good feeling. So it's when we can tap back into that higher vibration of little to no resistance, then the downloads come, then the ideas come because we're more of a match for the thing we want. And so you're able to receive those instincts, those ideas from the universe, from God and the universe. Finally, this is so good. This is so good. This is kind of like in closing. And I wanted to put this because I feel like this sums up our whole series, but it's so simple and it's so good. The formula for anything, the formula for creating anything is this: identify your desire and then achieve a vibrational match with it. That's it. Identify your desire and achieve a vibrational match with it. That is the formula to create anything that you want, guys. And so this allows you to do that, to identify that desire that's in the center of your focus wheel and then achieve that vibrational match with it. So this is it, guys. This is how you do it. And this really completes, this part of the series. I am so beyond grateful and honored to have been able to spend time with you, whether you've been here live every night, whether you're watching the replays. I just want to let you know what a beautiful experience this has been for me and how grateful I am for you for having shown up and given, like 16 hours of your life for this. This is important. And this is something too that I've really been present to lately is you want to think about like the goals and the things that you're spending your time on. Are they worthy of your life? It's not, are you worthy of the goals? It's, are the goals and the things you're investing time on worthy of your life? Because you're trading your life for those things. And so you have traded, 16 hours of your life to be together in this type of an environment. And I truly hope and trust that you feel that it was well worth it. I genuinely hope and trust and feel that. And I have felt like this 16 hours spending with you guys has been some of the best in my life. And I genuinely mean that. And I'm so grateful for that. So in closing, a couple ways that we can stay in touch and partner together. One is we're going to keep up the momentum in May. So we're going to be studying another book together. Definitely make sure you're on my email list so that you receive the notification about that. You can get on the list, elisearcher.com/resistance to grab the free download that went with this series. And then you'll get on the list too, so I can let you know about the next series we're going to do. But I hope you all will join for that. And then if you're curious about, hey, how can I go deeper? I want to work with Elise more on this. There's a number of different ways that I'm available to help. One is if you want to join our monthly membership. She sells all access. It's $28 a month. So it's super affordable. I designed it that way, but every month we're doing live training like this, and you get opportunity for live coaching where you can actually hop on Zoom and ask me questions and get coached. You also get an archive of all of our past trainings, and these trainings are on both mindset, wealth consciousness, as well as sales, time management. And this is really this access program, She Sells All Access, really is designed more for women. I know we've got a mixed audience on this, which I love. But we talk about, as a woman, how do you align your energy with your schedule and increase your productivity that way? So there's a wealth of knowledge on there. And if you want to join tonight, tomorrow we've got a live training on universal laws and like what laws do you need to know in order to create more abundance and more prosperity in your life. It's going to be so good. And I would love to have you there. So you can join that at elisearcher.com/training. And then if you're looking to go deeper and have more one-on-one access to me, there's two different ways to do that. One is to join my 10K club. And that program is closed right now, but it is going to be opening back up next month. And that's where I take a group of women under my wing to help them achieve a 10K month in 90 days or less, 10K month or more in 90 days or less. There's some of you who are on here in this series who are in that program. It's so wonderful to have you. So just send me a DM if you want me to send you information on that when that opens. And then the final way is I have one spot right now open for elite one-to-one coaching. And that is for men or women. That is where we're working hand in hand on really, really accelerating your results in your life using this type of conversation. So helping you really get specific on what are your limiting beliefs and what's the next level for you. What could you accomplish if there were no consequences or limitations? And you basically got me on speed dial, kind of as like your genie in a bottle to help you get those quantum leaps. So this is like, if you're like, heck yeah, I want to make my annual income my monthly income, or heck yeah, I want to create my dream life in a short amount of time, send me a DM. That's an application process. Send me a DM if you want to apply for that, and I'll be more than happy to send you the link to apply. And other than that, guys, like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. I'm so grateful for you. I know some of you mentioned to me earlier this month that you wanted information on the workshop I'm going to be doing on how to turn your annual income into your monthly income. So I've got your information if you said, yeah, you want info on that. So just know I'll be reaching out to you about that. And if you're hearing this for the first time and you want information on how to register, I'll do that too. Guys, what, any like big takeaways, any ahas? And I would say, like, whenever you share something, it helps your brain solidify it. It helps your brain take it away and say, I'm now going to remember this and implement it. So what's the one thing that you're taking from this? And it can be from tonight or this whole series that you're going to use to shift your life, to create more of what you want. I want to hear what it is in here. I want to know. Oh, David, it's my pleasure. Yes, I've got you on the list for the workshop, my friend. Absolutely. Juan, you're so welcome. Yeah, let me know, guys, for those of you who are here now, like what's the one thing? What's the one thing you're taking with you that you're going to apply moving forward to create that quantum leap in your life? Bambi, you're so welcome. Elizabeth, you're so welcome. Oh, I love all the thank yous, guys. Yeah, and let me know. Like, I know it may take a moment to type out the comments, but I'd love to hang for just a minute and see what those things are. Because truly, and this is just using neuroscience, when you write something down, you are way more likely to remember it, and your brain will solidify that learning so that you can use it again and again. So let me know what it is. Is it a mindset shift? Is it something tactically that you're going to be doing every day moving forward? Is it something that, is it a new belief system that you've created? I know James was sharing before on Instagram, like the belief system that the universe is helpful and supportive versus hostile. That's such an important belief system that I would invite all of you to take on. Bambi's saying her number one takeaway: to do things daily, not now and then, like I was doing, being consistent. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, and this is like, you don't get to stop doing this either. So this is the other thing. It's just like, if you want to get in great shape and you start going to the gym, if you got to a point where you were in shape and then you said, okay, I'm done, and now I don't have to go to the gym anymore, what would happen to your body? You already know, right? So it's the exact same thing with mindset. And I noticed for me, I actually have like a list of every morning, the mindset things I do to help stay in high vibration, like get prepped for the day. If I start to slack off on that list, it literally goes like that. It's like, So it is really important to find and like choose the processes that worked for you out of this, and then make those part of your daily routine. I've got some people, some women in my program right now who I know are scripting every day. Like every morning, they're scripting out how do they want things to go that day. If they were the director in their own movie, what would happen that day? What would the plot look like? What would happen? And so that's a great process you can use every day. Makia is saying $100. Yeah, like every single day, carrying $100, right? So you're saying not having money in my wallet helped me be aware of how I closed myself off to money. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, brilliant. I absolutely love that. And it's just the energy of it, and it's the symbolism of it too. And I used to think that this stuff didn't matter, but it was because I wasn't aware that everything has a vibration. That's the primary universal law. One of the primary universal laws is the law of vibration. Everything has a vibration. And an empty wallet has a very different vibration than a full wallet of $100. So yeah, if you guys haven't yet gone and gotten your $100 bill, go get it and put it in the wallet and hold on to it too. So I'm so grateful for each of you. I love you so much. Thank you. And please send me a DM if you have any other questions or ideas that pop up as a result of this. I'm totally available to help you, to brainstorm with you. Just please reach out with that. Okay, we got one more. I'm going to close out on James's comment. You said I paid some scary bills today and added a 0 to it for it coming back to me. Yes, yes, yes. And I want you all to start seeing, I think I shared this somewhere in this training. You are so much bigger than everything that scares you. You are so much bigger than everything that scares you. And this is, another conversation for another day, but one of my clients and dear friends, her sister transitioned a few years ago, and she's been able to connect with her from beyond. And one of the things that she said, that her sister said, is that you are bigger than any of it. And she said, imagine looking down over your house and then a city block and then your state and then the country and then the world and then the universe and then multiple universes. You're so much bigger than any of that. That gives me chills. I don't know about you guys, but that gives me chills. And when we can learn to think about things that feel scary, whether it's a certain amount of money that feels big to us, or taking a leap, or some sort of action that feels scary, and you can realize that you are so much bigger than any of it because you are a spiritual being having a human experience. It's all like this big compared to you. It's all that big. So those scary bills, that big compared to you. Anything else that feels scary, tiny compared to how powerful you are. So I adore you guys. Thank you so much. Wishing you the most beautiful just creation process from what you learned here. And I can't wait to hear. Send me a DM with your successes of what you learned from this series as well. So much love. Mwah. I'll see you guys very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.